Okay, so what I'm going to show you now how to do is how to change your settings so that you can export the files either as a full mix or with certain parts isolated so that you can use them as practice files. Okay, so if I'm listening to this recording, it sounds to me like the upper two voices are just louder than the bass voice because that's just the way it is, right? So you can't really hear it all that well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the volume up here and listen to it. Okay, so it just sounds a little bit more balanced now. Okay, now what I can do is I can use that setting so that the bass part is isolated and the soprano 1 part and the soprano 2 part are soft in the background, and that gives my basses a chance to hear their part louder, but it also lets them hear how their part interacts with the other parts. So here's what it sounds like. Soprano 2s make their entrance. You can hear it sort of in the background, and then the bass part is nice and loud, so they'll be able to practice their part and still hear the other parts. Okay, so that's one way to do it. The other way to do it, which I actually like a little bit better, is I like to change the balance from the left to the right so that one of the voice parts is on the left side and the other voice parts are on the right side, so that when a kid listens to it with their left earbud, then they're only hearing their part, but if they listen to it with both earbuds, then they can hear all the parts. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, this is the equalizer right here. Here's a left side, here's a right side. So I'm going to take the bass part, I'm going to isolate the bass all the way over to the left, and I'm going to take the other two parts, isolate them all the way over to the right. Okay, so when you hear the whole thing, it still sounds normal. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, gently down the stream, gently down the stream. Okay, so, but what I can do is, when a kid listens to it with their left earbud, then they're only going to hear the bass part. And then when they listen to it with both earbuds, they'll hear all parts. Okay, so if I'm listening to it on a computer, what I need to do is I need to go into my system preferences, and in the output, here under sound, here in output, I'm going to balance it all the way to the left side and hear what this sounds like. Okay, so now I hit play. The other parts are playing, I just can't hear them because they're balanced over to the right. Row, row, row your boat, you see what happens when I take the balance? Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay, so then now what I can do is I'm going to export that, and it's going to export it with those settings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit share, export song to disk, and then I'm going to say row your boat bass. I'm going to export it as an MP3 file. You can export it as any one of these types of files. So I'm going to export it. It's going to export it with those settings so that when I'm listening to it as an MP3 file, here it is right there. When I listen to it, the other parts are playing, but I can't hear them. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay, so that makes it easier for my students to hear their part, to practice their part for practice tracks.